Peace and Light Tribe. Hey y'all, hey. I am Latasha Jones, founder and CEO of Elevated Approach. I am here today. This is my first YouTube video, y'all. Oh my God. Well, I have, I think like one more breathing video before this that I used for a yoga class when I was getting certified. But this is like my official like entry into the YouTube world. And today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to share with you all why I got into education, why I got certified to be a yoga instructor and meditation instructor, and Elevated Approach, how Elevated Approach even came to me, where the idea come from. All right, so I want to thank you in advance for coming along the journey and watching the entire video. Because I'm a dancer, I'm sure there are going to be some like dance breaks in the middle of this, of me just getting my groove on, because I love to dance. Also, let's be clear, I might sing a little bit too during these videos. Now, many of you, many people, when they hear my singing, they are enamored by it, and often they compare Beyonce and Anita Baker to my singing. But I want to encourage you all right now to allow those women to be those women. What they have given to R&B and singing and soul music is beyond. So thank you in advance for all of the kudos for my singing. That's enough. Just don't compare us, okay? And just let those ladies be those ladies. All right, y'all. Let's be serious. Let's get on into this. All right, so how I became an educator. I was a teen mom, and I had my son when I was 18 years old. We are 2 days apart. So I had him and I turned 19 in a hospital. I left the hospital. I started working like probably like maybe a year after he was born, maybe a little closer. Yeah, maybe about a year after he was born. And I started working at this company called RCI. It was like a postal service, like we unpacked mail. It was a pretty dirty, grimy job. Had a little bit of fun, met some cool people there, but it was just not, it really wasn't for me. I enjoyed the money though. My mom was aware that I was looking for work, like changing, changing what the job was or what I was doing, but not really sure about what direction I wanted to go in. Mind you, I've always loved children. I've always been around children. I was always like the babysitter growing up. I was always like the one they leave the kids with. I'm watching all the cousins. That's always been me. My mom called me and she told me about AmeriCorps, about City Year. And I was like, City Year? Hold on, y'all probably hear a bus going past. But anyway, she's like, girl, I heard about this great program called AmeriCorps. City Year is one of the programs within, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, yeah, let me check it out. So I went online, I looked it up. I was like, pretty cool. I was like, oh, this might be a great experience. But then when I saw how much they were getting paid, and it was only a stipend, dun-dun, was not happy, okay? Because I was like used to getting money, and I'm a teen mom. I had my own place. I'm like, no, I have bills, Sonny. I need coin. But I really enjoyed what they had to say. And so I ended up applying. I got in. It was a great experience. I ended up doing it for 2 years. We ran spring break camps. We were like TAs in classrooms. We were in after school programming. We did all these wonderful things that really gave me a plethora of experiences with children and families. And so from there, I was like, oh, I think this might be for me. And I just kept going with it. I stayed there again, like I said, for 2 years. After that, I went right into daycare centers because I really was like, no, I like school-age children. Let me see what's up with the babies. So I worked in maybe like 4 or 5 daycare centers. I worked with the Justice Department before with children that I was in the infant room there. It was so cute. They were just so scrumptious, and the cheeks and the legs just just love the children. Like I had so much fun working there because you're always around a baby. I mean, you get the baby smell. I mean, now, working with babies also gave the vomit and the poop and all the other things. And let's just say I learned in my 20 plus years of serving children and families that baby, parents are difficult on every level. From infants up to high school, parents be difficult, baby. And parenting does not come with a handbook, so I'm always understanding. But baby, parents be difficult. I had parents fussing about goat milk. They wanted their child to have goat milk. It was just a lot. And this was before all this popular milks and stuff was out. Like, baby, this was back, baby. And I was like, goat milk to the baby? But that's the parent's choice. Anyway, I worked there. I worked all these different daycares. Loved it. Moved on to schools. And when I was working in schools, it was really doing like summer programming and things of that nature, or pushing in for like spring breaks or camps but I really enjoyed the school system as well. And I got to see like a different level, again, like I said, like how when you're infant, certain things get to pass on with different children, right? Infancy, you get to see small wins like walking and crawling, learning how to eat. Then, you get to the point where you're getting to see them learn how to talk and use words and noticing letters. Like all of that was so much fun for me, and I really enjoyed it. And it like warmed my heart a lot. I continued on and moved into schools just because I really wanted to be more invested in children's futures. I went to I actually was walking, and I was walking with my son, and we were doing trick-or-treating. And I walked past the New Macedonia Baptist Church, and they were having what they call a Hallelujah Night, or what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. But anyway, they have which is a non-traditional way of celebrating or giving children the option to celebrate Halloween, but not really Halloween. But anyway, so they just said, come on over. So we went over. Everybody was so hospitable and so cool. So I decided to visit the church. Loved the church, ended up joining. My son and I both ended up joining. And then they were opening up a school, and I heard about that as well, like in the church bulletin. So I applied. And actually before this, I actually lost my job. So I was really in need of a job. So it was God's divine time and that they were even hiring. I started working at the New Macedonia Christian Academy. And that was such an amazing experience as well. I was potty trained. It was just so many great things that I learned at that space, because I used the Abeka curriculum, which is a Christian curriculum. And I was like, it definitely deepened my relationship with God, but it also showed me like the different ways that we are able to teach, because they used a non-traditional way that I was used to teach children, which was cool for me. And I got to learn, again, for me, just so you guys know, like I am a student of life, baby. I want to read. I want to learn to the day I go home to the Lord's. Okay? Yes, I said Lord's. Y'all will learn that about me. I say Lord's. So I enjoyed New Mass so much. I met some wonderful people there, and one of them who is now like a best friend of mine, her and Malika Cornejo and Tiffany Taylor, they introduced me to the Children's Defense Fund, which was Freedom Schools, because they brought Freedom School that summer to do a program. And Freedom Schools is a reading enrichment program, typically ran during the summer in low income or impoverished areas. Typically Black and brown children are the population that the program serves. It is so wonderful. If you don't know about Children's Defense Fund, please go look it up. I'm definitely going to link any of these organizations that I can down in the, I'll link them so you can actually go right and touch them and go check it out. Maybe you want to do some service. Maybe you have some children or families who, just anybody who might be interested in it. Maybe you want to donate to any of those organizations as well. Great programs, like great. They're still doing dynamic work to this day. But yeah, I should go back and say that I was a founding City Year member. We won Syzygy, the PT. I was the leader of the PT. That's physical training, But I was the leader, honey. We won an award for ours because, baby, we were like that. Don't Don't ever play with CYDC, okay? Still to this day, I could do more work with them, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going on. We're going on with this story. So, yeah, like I said, I ended up doing Freedom School with them that summer at NUMAS. Really enjoyed the program and loved what they had to do. Then I went to training. Y'all, the training for Freedom School is held at the Alex Haley Farm in Tennessee. Changed my life. Do you hear me? City Year changed my life. And you know, you have all these great times in your life where you, if you're a learner, if you're a student of life, where you learn, right? Where you grow, like pivotal moments in your life where you're just like, oh my God, this is the thing. You know, it was coming to City Year. It was seeing the children. It was the enrichment curriculums. And then it was like Children's Defense Fund, Freedom Schools. It was like, oh my God. Then I get to the Alex Haley Farm, baby. When I tell you, God showed up and showed out at that farm, y'all. Okay? Just show up. And I was amazed. I was just amazed at what God was doing to me there. And how God was showing it, what I was learning, the people I was around. Like, oh my God, all these super intelligent people, just that, like from all these different walks of life, like people that have like stopped college or they're going to want to be lawyers, but they like similar thing that I got at City Year, like same thing, especially when we went to Syzygy. And Syzygy with City Year is like the national conference, which they don't hold anymore. I'm so sad about that. But where you got to meet all of the City Year people, like from every one. And when I was in City Year, you know, we had City Year South Africa starting. And so like both of these organizations exposed me to so much, right? And getting to fly and all these things that I was getting more exposure to where it wasn't around me going to party or something, right? And it was just amazing. I really loved everything that I was gaining there on the Alex Haley Farm, and returned, kept going with City Year. Kept going with Freedom School, still volunteering with City Year at their, you know, they have MLK days, service days, all these different service days I was still participating in, but really, really loving Freedom School. After some time, probably about 3 or 4 years at New Macedonia Christian Academy, I believe about 3 or 4 years. Maybe 3. I left, and those ladies that I just mentioned left, and they went to work with Maya Angelou public charter school. And they were like, Tasha, come on over, do Freedom School with us here. So I did, and loved it for Maya Angelou. I'm back in a high school setting, loving the children, loving the lives I'm getting to change and just have an influence on. And so I ended up staying. I ended up leaving New Macedonia. I went over to work at Maya Angelou, and I actually ended up also working at Oak Hill, which is New Beginnings, which is the juvenile jail facility in Laurel, Maryland. And that was another life-altering experience. Just seeing the abilities that I had, that God had given me, and my gifts that God had given me, that I'm able to pour into children. The fact that I was able to go into that facility and work in that setting with that demographic of scholar and still be successful showed me that that was my gift, that this is my thing, baby. And you can't do nothing with me when it comes to work with the children. It's only because I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to talk to them like I wanted to be talked to. I'm going to keep it real when I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to be me. Okay, we're going to keep it professional, we're going to keep it cute, but I'm still going to be LaTasha Jones, okay? So that was just, I was like, okay, this is my jam. It's kids all the way. Let me just be committed to this thing and really be serious. So that started another journey in education as far as like me attending school. I started PG Community College. I was there, and I've also attended UDC. I am currently finishing up my bachelor's. It took me quite a while because I was a teen mom, and I just really felt like focusing on my son for a while. And then I did have a little party era. Honey. Had a whole party era, baby. I had a good time too. But I'm finishing up that bachelor's degree because it is important. And eventually, who knows if I'll be Dr. Jones. I don't know if, that's a big investment. A big investment of time too, and coin. But you never know. You never know. One day this video might be up and I might be like, sorry for they did become Dr. Jones. But again, I don't know. We're gonna take it to the bachelor's, all right? So I left. Well, I was at Maya Angelou for quite a while. I served at Maya for a long time, like back and forth between regular programming and summer programming, working with Freedom Schools, and it was just such a good experience. It was a great experience. I did, through this time in education, especially after working with the children at Maya and other high schools, I ended up losing a lot of students to gun violence, or being in prison. And, some of students that I have taught have, given life. They're never going to come home. Some have maybe 26 years, and maybe they're going to come home when they're 40. So, that in itself has taught me a lot about pouring into children as much as I can, regardless of what they choose to do. But just knowing that at the end of the day, like, we all have the autonomy as adults to really pour into children who don't necessarily have the autonomy to do what they want to do. A lot of times children, you only can do what your parents allow you to do, and then there comes a time when you're able to make choices, but your choices are only based off what you know, right? Because you only know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. Key. Now, I don't know if I mentioned Ms. Jacobs at the beginning of this. I'm not sure. But Ms. Jacobs is the reason why when I really got into the delve of education, where I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And when I do this, how I'm going to show up will be like Ms. Jacobs. Because, baby, that lady looked out for me. I had tried to pull the teacher's prosthetic arm off in middle school. Yeah, you don't have to rewind it. I said I tried to pull a teacher's prosthetic arm off in middle school. And Ms. Jacobs looked out for me. And that teacher looked out for me too. They both spoke up and didn't want me to get expelled, because they knew that my behavior was communication and it wasn't necessarily me being malicious, right? And so I to this day, I appreciate those ladies for what they did for me, because they didn't have to. It's a choice that they made. And so that's why I choose to show up the way I do for children and advocate for children in every situation, especially in the role that I play now as in-school suspension coordinator for DC Public Schools. But returning back to after Freedom School was just my thing, my way in. I did one-on-one work when I'm working with children with special needs. That was also fulfilling, right? Like, all of this has been so fulfilling to me, because I'm learning new tools, new ways to deal with children. I'm learning that there is no like way to deal with children. There's like a guide you can kind of follow, but you have to go outside and go outside of the box and go outside of your regular way and just deal with children the way they come. That's typically how I do it. I just, I'm dealing with children case by case scenarios. Like, what works for one child doesn't work for every child. It just doesn't. 24 years had told me that, honey, baby. Let me tell you, one thing you think this working, then be like, when that student be like, me, get out my face, you're like, okay, so that didn't work. Let me go back to the drawing board. Seriously, last night we talked about that, because sometimes she would be like, put him up, little girl, put him up. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, excuse me. But so after Maya Angelou, I went on to this wonderful school called Phillips Programs, and I really enjoyed my time there. I would say there, between those two places, Maya Angelou and Phillips, I saw who I was and how powerful my voice was with children. B, I also went through the most physical abuse between these two schools, or observed it. Like a student or the young men like jumping a student in my class, and them, I was so like, that never happened to me, like, ever. Like, they didn't play, I didn't play. But the boys were like, Ms. Jones, we just knew we could get him in here. And I was just like, oh, this sucks so bad. But evidently somebody had paid them with chips or something to do it. Let's not even go there. That was at the jail, honey. Anyway, they actually picked me up and moved me out the way, because I was trying to cover the child. They was like, Ms. Jones, just move. And in a very loving kind of way. And they apologized to me and everything, and was saying, they wanted the chips, so that's why they did it. And I mean, I was disgusted with them, but I was more so disgusted with the adult who was paying them to do that. But understanding of why they did it, especially the 2 of the boys I believe that were involved weren't going home. So like they were going to they had juvenile life, like they were going to leave there and then go to prison. So there was like some understanding there of it. For me, I had some understanding of them. And then at Phillips, like poop thrown at me, I got smacked, got beat up, had water on, hit with a computer, baby, hit with a clipper, baby, the things that fractured fingers, the things that happened to me, those 2 programs taught me so much and taught me more about my strength, and what I could, I don't want to say take, because you really don't want to take anything. And when I say take, like taking an abuse, but just like, wow, like even being able to fix or go back and to talk to a child after that happened, after they done hit you or did something. Because some of those kids, if I'm really just being real, hands up, don't shoot me, y'all, don't shoot me. But in the 20-something plus years of serving children and families, not all children are diagnosed with some of these things. It's not always real, right? I'm just gonna be real, because some parents do it for a check. And then children also learn like, this will get me this, right? So if I do this, I'll get this. That's a whole, I could do 20 hours talking about that. But that is not what we're here for. So, yeah, I left. I was at that school for quite a while. I left there, and then I worked at an all-girls school. And then I'm at DCPS. I've enjoyed this journey of everything. I've been a classroom teacher, long-term sub. I've been in-school suspension coordinator, which I am now. I was behavior technician. I've been a one-to-one. I've been an assistant teacher. I've played a lot of roles in education, and I absolutely appreciate the time that I've had in education, and I can't wait to see what the latter part of my life looks like in education, how I'm able to serve, who I'm able to serve, the lives I'm able to change. Because one of the things that always warms my heart is to see any of my prior students and to hear their excitement, or to hear what they have to say about how I was able to serve them, what they learned from me, what I showed them. And so for me, I'm just like, wow, like just as an educator, I just get this really great opportunity to really mold lives, really change, right? Really be a real change agent. And the thing that I've learned more than anything is that although you want this, like this is what you want for a child, all you can do is just offer ideas. Just offer all these ideas, and hopefully an idea they grab onto, they like it, they use it. Even if they don't use it right then, even if they use it 10 years from now. I know lessons that I had learned in middle school, especially from that pulling that teacher's arm, prosthetic arm. That was sixth or seventh grade. I didn't really even understand the level of love and care that both of those women had for me until I was about 10th grade. So with all that being said, just for me, I err on the side of that. I'm doing this work to serve God and to serve children. And because of that, I'm able to turn the other cheek, or, find a will and a way to go back the next day after something didn't go perfect, or didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, or where may have been attacked. Yes, now, baby, I take my time. I take my time off. That's what leave is for, okay? Because I take my times off. Yes, I do. I take my time off when I need it. But that's about it, y'all. That's how I got into education. Like I said, 24 years. I believe this is the 24th year. And it's 2024. How is that? Look, 24. That's amazing. Yeah, I believe it's 24 years and it's 2024. That's a beautiful thing. So I'm sure there's going to be more parts to this video, because I'm about to get off because I need to get some other things done. But stay tuned for the part 2. Okay. Good morning. Okay, so I'm back with part 2 of the me story. So get into this yoga and meditation. So for me, considering suicide had always been an option since about the age of maybe like 10, 11. I had always felt like suicide was an option for me. And it wasn't until 2017, my grandmother passed, my son went away to college, and I was just really at a loss. And it was the first time that I was alone, where I didn't have someone to care for, I didn't have someone who was counting on me. I was no longer in my long-term relationship I had been in. Like, there was like all this freedom and all this space. But with this freedom and this space was also this space of like getting to really know myself. And I had realized, like, darn, like, you really, really thought that suicide was an option. I mean, I literally was even like, I used to be like, oh, what if I run into traffic? What if I drive my car off this bridge? I have life insurance. My son will get money. I've had the life insurance for quite a while. He'll get the money. I just had all these thoughts. And so it was really like, it's an option. It's an option. It was always an option. And my best friend had exposed me to like yoga and going, and I had went to like the Anacostia Yogi. And she was like, Tasha, you are so amazing at this. I think this will be a great space for you to do some work in. And I was like, me, yoga girl, please. I could never. But then I was like, maybe I could. I don't know. I enjoy teaching anyway. Maybe I could try it. But I really still wasn't completely sold on the idea of yoga. And plus, prior to that, it kind of felt like a white thing, like something only white people or non-black people did, or like people that had money and time. And I was like, I don't have money or time to be wasting on some daggone yoga, honey. Or no daggone meditation, honey. I'm going to use the Lord and that's it. All I need is Jesus. Shama, no. But but I really was searching for something deeper, because I was a member of the church. I had like investigated all these different religions, from being a 5%er to being Israelite to the Moorish Science Temple of America to Scientology. Like, baby, when I say your girl had looked into every religion and still didn't have the answer or the thing that was making me feel better, right? It was so much. And so I got into the yoga, really started finding the place. And it was like, and I feel like summer 2017, my son went away. He had a little bout with depression, which drove me to really researching myself, what that looked like for me, and what did I teach him by my habits. And just in that alone time, I was doing yoga one day, and I finished, and I was in meditation, and I'm crying, okay? When I say crying, I'm talking about boo-hoo, tears, snot, all the things, right? Like, I'm crying. I'm like, what is this? God is talking to me in this. Now, mind you, the year before that, when I had first started trying yoga, 2016, God had given me elevated approach. I had no idea what elevated approach was going to do, what it was going to be. But while I'm in meditation, God was just like, elevated approach. I said, okay, I wrote it down. I went and got the EIN. I went and did all the things to make sure I got an email. I did all this stuff. I had no idea what elevated approach was going to do. Right. So now this is a year later. I'm in this space, and you know, I'm just enjoying yoga. And when that exposure came to me, and I was feeling that level of freedom, that level of godliness with the meditation and the yoga, I was like, wow, why wasn't this accessible to me before? Why didn't I know about this? Why wasn't this here for me? And through that, then I decided or made a decision I needed to go to therapy. I was like, this is my last year considering suicide as an option. I need some help. And again, that came to me during meditation. And then as I started to get deeper and deeper into meditation, I realized that, like, the Bible even says meditate and pray. Meditate and pray and meditate. Because at the end of the day, for me, meditation became the time when I'm not asking God for anything. I'm not putting a demand. I'm not thanking God for anything. I'm just laying there, just allowing God to talk to me, to feed to me. I just want to hear God. And so for me, I started to understand that, like, prayer is to invite God in. That you invite God into your life, into the room, into your spirit. And then the meditation part is when you allow God to talk back to you, when you actually allow yourself to hear God. So that was like amazing for me. It was key. It was a key place for me. And I just really wanted to make sure that it was accessible to other people. So I just kept dibbling and dabbling yoga for here a little bit. And I was teaching a little bit here and there, just like teaching what I had already learned, a class here, a class there, some senior citizens. Then COVID came, and right before COVID came, I decided I wanted to get certified in meditation. So I did that because I was like, I need another level of this. So I got certified in meditation. And I was like, yes, this is bomb, da da da. But I was like, it's another piece missing. It's another piece. So this year that just passed, I got certified in yoga. And I'm currently working on my the trainer certification so I can train others to be yoga trainers or yoga teachers. And I did it, and it's just been an amazing process. And I really see, like, through work, I've done so much work in the community through, like, Bow Yoga and other community organizations, working with, like, returning citizens. I've worked with senior citizens. I've done work at the schools I work in. I've done it at juvenile detention centers. I've done it in travel. Even having people, observing people, or having people come up to me after they observe me doing yoga in the airport or in the lobby of, in the waiting room of an emergency room, because I've done that. Like, really seeing that people, like, we need this healing, we need this space to just be for a minute, right? And to not be thinking and not to be moving in this, like, hurry up and do, or gotta go to work, or gotta be a mom, or gotta be a dad, or gotta be an employee, where you just get to be just for a minute. And yes, I suggest working out. I love the gym. Gym is good. I could do a little bit more, but I just really got to see how that level of stretch and that level of time of silence really changes who you are and really pours into you. One of the other things that was given to me during my meditative process was like, girl, if you were to commit suicide, you are killing the 10-year-old you who went through all this sexual trauma and all this abuse. You're killing her, who deserved love, and you're killing your future self, who you don't even know who she's going to be, right? You're not killing the hurt you right now. You're killing the other yous, and the you that needs love and the you that you don't know. And so I was just like, this is my jam, okay? And there's not many of me that talk the way I do, that move the way I do, that shows up in that yoga or that wellness space. And so I'm just continuing to, like, walk authentically in that and continue to grow my practice, and figuring out how I share it with people. Because at first it was like, oh, I'm going to do all these morning yoga videos. And I'm like, girl, you don't have time for that. Because, baby, I cannot be without my yoga. So sometimes, baby, I might not be dressed appropriately for the internets. Okay, but I'm getting it in. I got to wake up in the morning, drink my water, thank the Lord. First, I want to thank the Lord, okay, before I even put my feet on the ground. Lord, thank you, Jesus. Hey, shamanam, nom, 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 tie my bow tie, okay. But anyway, I want to thank the Lord for waking me up. I drink my water, do some stretching, even if it's bed yoga. If I don't actually make it to the mat in the morning, I do some bed stretching. Just because I really found, like, how it straightens my spine, how it allows me to sit up taller, how I feel in the work that I do. Because this work I do is hard, baby. Sometimes these kids, I be wanting to put them up. The teachers too, and the parents. Sometimes just. But y'all excuse my walkie. But no, so that's, like, some of the things that I really, and I don't know why I still got to walk you on the end of the day one day. Ain't even no kids here. But that's, like, a little bit of why I got into yoga. But that's not a little bit. That is exactly why I got into yoga. Exactly how that process was for me. And now it's really about fine-tuning my practice, fine-tuning how I share that, as well as my speaking platform, and really honoring the gifts that God has given me, and the processes that are before me. So yeah, that's that. It's gonna be a part 3. Gotta go. Part 3, elevated approach. So again, elevated approach, as I told y'all, 2016. God just gave me elevated approach. He gave me that name. I was like, what's that? What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. But I wrote it down. I applied for EIN. I got a website. I got the email address. I didn't even know what I was going to do with elevated approach, but I knew if God had given it to me, it was going to be something great. And I just started moving with it. I just was like, hey, I'm elevated approach. I got a logo made, like, I think, like 2018, 2019, I got a logo made. I mean, when I say slow walking, it has been a slow process because I really believe in things in decency and order, so I didn't want to rush anything. And I wanted God to really be the guide of it. And I know too often, I feel like sometimes we move too fast to do things, and we're not able to be as successful as God could possibly help us be because we decide to move in our own time. I'm not going to say I did move a little slow because, baby, some things I could have done, but I did. Nonetheless, we're here now. Elevated Approach has grown, and I said like 50 times. Elevated Approach has grown tremendously in my life. I had no idea that it was going to be this. 2021, I believe. It's 23 or 2020. Yeah, 2021, 2022. I brought Next Level Speakers Academy for my birthday. And I became a Next Level Speakers Academy member. And that has also transformed my life. It's transformed Elevated Approach. I have been doing speaking engagements. I'm speaking at high schools. I spoke at a conference. I've had 2 different speaking engagements at conferences. I've spoken to teachers. I have something. I'm going to be going to Vegas to do some. I'm out here moving and grooving. And I'm blessed because I really want my voice to be the change agent that it could. I want the possibility to change lives. That's it. Because there was this lady named Miss Jacobs Baby when I was in middle school who loved on me and cared on me and didn't see my behavior as behavior. She saw it as communication. And she made a choice to love on me, even though I was a spicy little hot box, okay? Because my mouth was out of control in middle school, baby. I was bang. I had a lot to say and whole lot to say. So with that being said, I'm excited to see how I can change lives, what joy I can bring to scholars, what I can give to educators to encourage them to be a Miss Jacobs or to be a me. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to simply evoke change within children. And I understand children come to school with their own things, but the things that children don't have that we have as adults is autonomy, right? They don't get the autonomy to go home and say, they've had a bad day, Mom, leave me alone, or Mom, I'm stressed out, or these days kids can't even say they're depressed because parents will be like, you ain't depressed, what you got to be depressed over, what you got to be mad over, like it's not stressful, like you wasn't stressed when you was a kid, like you. Because, baby, I know I was. So, yeah, that's part 3. Okay, more to come. Peace. Hey, part 4. But it ain't no more. I did a rhyme. Part 4, but it ain't no more. Part 4, but it ain't no more. So there's no more to give y'all for today. But if you made it this far, click subscribe, like, come back. Thank y'all for watching the whole video. I can't wait to share more. Peace and blessings.